All right, there we go. That's it. We're live.
We're live, baby.
All right. Hello, everyone. I know there's technically zero viewers in stream, but this is mainly for anyone who's just watching the stream back. Um, we are talking about Saw X, which is a very violent movie. So I know some of you
So if you
kiddos.
have any children nearby, get them out of the way or throw them out entirely.
Yes. So if if
Fun
if
fact you would put it.
if if those type of themes and just excessive violence is something that you just are very squeamy, something you can't really handle, just I would probably avoid the stream because this is a rated R movie we're talking about. So
Yeah,
anyway,
yeah. Just so you know, we're not gonna show anything. We're just gonna be talking about it. But
yeah,
still,
I figured I'd still give a fair warning since just I might as well. But anyway, right
yeah.
now I have Connor Stearman. Right now, Sketch will be joining fairly soon, and then we'll still be talking about stuff. But yeah, so anyway, Saw X actually was pretty good. I genuinely enjoyed it.
I agree. Like I was like very. I must say I'm like about to say I think even Evan you know this. I've been very skeptical of this. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
there's part of me I was like, okay, it might be good, but there was part of me that was like a really small part of me that was like, this is gonna really suck. But thankfully, I was wrong. I was like, I couldn't have been more happy to be wrong.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Also, this might contain spoilers for the movie if you want to watch the movie.
Oh yeah. This.
There is a lot to talk about.
Oh yeah. I agree. Okay. Yeah. Bees. Bees and butterflies. There is gonna be spoilers for this movie.
That's the non-spoiler section out of the way already.
Yeah. Lots of spoilers. I probably didn't make that apparent enough, and then
Bees and butterflies.
they proceed to say hi to both of us. So hello back to you. But yeah. Um.
Yeah.
I guess we'll just like start with like more minor stuff, and then kind of just as the stream progresses, we'll just get into more hardcore
Yeah.
spoilers, especially since Sketches are here right now. Um,
Yeah.
well, there's something we'll
And I
get.
think you would probably be the best person to kind of like get to like certain sections because I don't know how I would do it.
I guess we'll just kind of just go completely out of order because I
Yeah.
guess the more.
We're just I think that's fine.
All right, so something that we won't talk about right now, but we're definitely gonna get to later is that there is kind of a minor plot hole. It's not so serious that it damages the whole movie, but it's definitely a bit noticeable, especially if you're very what is it called?
A
You're just
hardcore fan.
yeah, if you're a hardcore fan and you're very familiar with
If
the
you just
overarching
watch the
story.
movies, I'm about to say, yeah, if you just watch the movies, it probably won't be that noticeable. But if you're like keeping up with absolutely everything Saw related, even if it's like a 2 minute like fake documentary, for example, hint hint. Yeah, there is a kind of a huge plot hole in the movie. Again, not a big deal, but no, it's worth pointing out if you're a huge fan of the series.
It'll probably be closer to like I would say 20-ish. Um she just got to get picked up from the theater, so
Okay, nice.
and then she's just got to do something real quick before joining stream. Um, but yeah, so also sketch like that. We were 3 for 3. All of us really enjoyed it.
Oh yeah. Like I was like honestly kind of worried that only one of us was probably gonna hate it. I know, like all three of us were pretty much like in agreement that no, it was really good.
Oh yeah, I mean I can definitely understand why the test screenings they thought they were rigged. I mean I can definitely understand why just like the average
Yeah.
moviegoer would enjoy this movie. It's
Oh yeah.
it's definitely one of the more approachable in the series in terms of just like a standalone movie, and I definitely respect it a lot for that.
And the director was absolutely right. You don't really need to watch the other movies in order to like. You can just watch this one by itself and be completely fine with it. Honestly, like you don't really need to have any other connections with the movies in order to like enjoy it. But like if you have watched the other movies, like a lot of the smaller, know, hints or
Hmm.
references, I should say, are are gonna mean a lot more if you've seen the other ones. But if you're new to the series, like it's easily accessible.
Oh yeah. I love how this movie feels like a spin-off, but like just has connections to the rest of the series. Like
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't really feel like it's a proper Saw 2 prequel just because like John Kramer, like as he's handled as a character, like at least in Saw X, it's pretty much just like the most streamlined interpretation of the second trilogy, John Kramer, where
Oh yeah.
he is very like self-righteous, and he will not go down on like obviously he chose the group this group of people specifically to be in these traps because he wronged not only him but lots of other people. So he is slightly biased, but he didn't let it affect quote unquote his judgment. And I really
I'm gonna say he didn't want them doing this to more people in the
exactly.
future. Like, while
And
his like morals aren't necessarily wrong, however, the way he does it, is a bit questionable for some people.
I think it's a bit more than just questionable, sir. A lady saws her own leg off, bro.
Yeah.
But don't worry, it's not murder if you point a gun to someone's head and say pull the trigger.
Technically, Jigsaw is not the one who caused that action. She technically killed herself.
You should keep yourself safe now. It's funny because yeah, he's basically just like you could keep yourself safe or do nothing and die. So
pretty much.
also, okay, real quick, just because it's like near the beginning of the movie, so it's not too crazy of a spoiler, but I will say the eyeball trap, I still don't really understand what they were like trying to do with that. I still feel like they kind of had like okay, they were planning on doing that eyeball trap, and then when they were writing it, it kind of just like they kind of like cut out parts of it like around like when it takes place because it's just so odd how he goes to someone, imagines them being in a trap, witnesses the outcome of the trap, and then just simply just says, go on about your business, buddy." Like it's just very odd.
Yeah, like it honestly seems like that was supposed to be maybe like the opening trap of the movie, but then they realized that was a bit like not. Then they realized that no, we should probably not do that. Which I feel like that was a much more better approach. But at the same time, it's just like the way it's like woven into the movie itself. It doesn't really like flow that well. If I'm gonna be honest.
Agreed.
Like, it's very confusing of like because like at first, oh hey sketch,
Hello.
Hey,
but like the way it's like kind of interwoven into the actual movie, it's like you think it's actually happening, but then no, it's actually just Jigsaw's fantasy.
Okay, real quick, sketch. What are your thoughts on the movie? Because me and Connor have been talking about this for hours, but we still haven't gotten your clear cut opinion on it.
okay, so just a question. Did you guys like the movie?
I really did like it. I'd probably say more
Okay,
more than like.
Did you like it better than the first movie?
Okay.
I'm definitely gonna say no. I would say I'm still say objective. I would still say the first one is way better, but in terms of like Saw sequels, it is definitely up there as like one of the better sequels. I would say.
Because I actually really like this movie.
I agree.
I feel like it added more so to a story to John Kramer than like all the rest of the movies did, basically.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, it added new layers to
The
the
part
character.
that I
honestly.
absolutely hated was the beginning
Oh, the eyeball trap.
with the saw trap. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we were literally just talking about
Oh yeah.
that before you joined.
My problem with it
Yeah,
is that like me and Connor were both discussing earlier is that it just seems like they didn't know what to do with it, and they kind of just placed it at a like almost random spot because I feel like they were gonna have like I think okay originally they were gonna have it as like the opener, and then they changed it to that spot, and I feel like they were gonna flesh it out more, and then they kind of just gave up because they realized the movie was too long. So it's just very odd.
Yeah, I think, and before the stream, about to say before the stream started, I even discussed to Evan earlier that it at first because like when that happened, I thought that was like I thought that was like a big warning sign that oh no, I hope it's not gonna be like this the entire time. I hope it's not like confusing the entire time. Thankfully, it wasn't. Like thankfully, it got better after that. It's just like that's like one of the more like confusing aspects of the movie. I'm just like, why did you do that? Like, I mean, it's a memorable scene. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like, again, like I mentioned before, it's like the way it's interwoven into the movie, the way it's edited together. It's just like the context of the movie just doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't.
Narrative wise.
I feel like
And
that.
what upsets me even.
Oh, what
Go
were you
ahead,
saying,
sorry.
sketch? I've been talking my head off. Please,
No,
please
sorry.
continue.
No, go ahead.
God damn it! I was gonna say is that I feel like that's the only part that just seems just slightly half-assed story-wise, but like shooting-wise, it's fine, I guess, if that makes sense. It just seems more like a script error,
Oh yeah.
problem more than anything. Anyway, Sketch, please, what were you saying?
Oh no, I was gonna say what upsets me even more is that like that saw trap was like specifically like what they teased this whole time. It's like it's even
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
poster,
exactly.
and
Like
then it's
honestly,
not a real trap.
it's just yeah, exactly. It's like I honestly wouldn't be surprised if maybe that's like one of the earlier concepts for that movie for it to get made or something, and they just decided, oh yeah, let's just put it in the movie just because we advertised it in the trailers, I guess.
Also, I feel like the only problem with this movie is that okay, so the first trap is a trap that is not lethal if you fail it, but then every other trap after that is. Now, I'm not saying that they're bad traps. If anything, they're probably some of the best in the series, but I feel like we need more traps like that because I feel like it's just like, oh, if they die, then like it doesn't matter, like they failed. Like there's just nothing they could do past that. But it's just like if they fail, like boom, you're just blind for the rest of your life. That kind of sucks. You know what I'm saying? So it just kind of sucks that most of these
Either way,
result in
I
death.
was say either way he would have led, but even then it's just like what?
Also, I feel like the effects on that trap were like insanely good too. That's probably the reason I was disappointed it wasn't even real.
Yeah, it's like yeah, I say yeah, because there's so much effort put into that trap only for it to not be canon. It wasn't a canon event.
It is not a real saw trap,
Hmm.
technically. Obviously, the production and all that is real for it, but like technically, it is not an
But yeah,
actual saw trap in that universe, which is kind of
like it
whack.
just seems like so much effort was wasted on something that doesn't even happen.
Agreed. Okay, also, Sketch, what you were saying earlier when you're asking if it was better than the first, the only reason I'm conflicted is because of the short shooting schedule, like, the first movie is definitely rough around the edges, but that has nothing to do with the actual script, because I feel like on that level, I really, really love the first movie, but, like, I feel like the more times you kind of start to, like, pick apart the first movie, the kind of the cracks become clear, I guess, and I feel like this movie doesn't have as many cracks, if that makes sense. So in that regard, I feel like it's slightly better, but like script wise, I definitely would give the first movie that. Yeah, I guess I don't know where I was going with that. All right, Sketch, thoughts on other parts of the movie?
Uh I'll say this much. I couldn't watch it when they had the kid in the trap. Like I could take it
Oh yeah.
with everything else, but it's like just when they pulled in the kid, it's like I couldn't watch.
I'm glad that part was really tame because it's not nothing that like he'll be fine, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I'm about to say, and Jigsaw was willing to help save the kid anyway, so it's like let's say, like the fact that Jigsaw was willing to legitimately sacrifice himself to save the kid, like that's again, like, I don't know.
Also, I really love how at the beginning of the movie he's like, "Don't pull," and I'm like, "Okay, but how are they gonna use this later on in the movie?" And I almost completely forgot about that, and I really and I
Well, I'm
really
about to say yeah, because I remember the whole polling section with the bike earlier.
yeah.
I was like, I didn't know, I thought that was like maybe gotta be something to do with like, oh, maybe it's just something to do with like the bike
Mhm.
with a jigsaw bike or something like that. But no, it's like it literally has an important plot. It's a plot point in the actual movie.
Okay, Sketch, real
And the reason
quick.
why he says don't pull is because he doesn't want him, suffocating with the blood.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, Sketch, real quick. Did you notice there was a small plot hole in this movie?
With what?
Remember how Cecilia, is that the person's name? Like Peterson? Cecilia Peterson?
Yeah,
Is that her
I know
name?
it's like Dr. Peterson. I think her name is Cecilia. I think
Okay, sorry. I
The
was
blonde lady.
yeah, so the blonde lady,
evil
right?
lady.
So she's like pointing out
Yeah,
that
yeah.
like he's John Kramer, he's MFing Jigsaw, she says the cuss word and all, like, the whole Jigsaw, 2017 style. But this was before Saw 2. John Kramer wasn't outed as Jigsaw until that movie. In the movie,
It might be one of those situations where we might have to watch it again just to see if it actually is a plot hole or something. Because
I
I don't know. It's like I feel like with the way it's executed, like it seems like they make it seem like they knew John Kramer was the Jigsaw killer,
yeah.
but it's like why didn't anyone? But it's like it's even a plot hole within the movie itself because like why doesn't anyone else recognize him as the Jigsaw killer?
I feel like if
You would
anything,
always think like people in the hospital specifically would recognize him as the Jigsaw killer.
well, something to note too is that I feel like if anything, well, this was way early on in like Jigsaw's like just in all of his killings and stuff, and this trap really doesn't fit his MO in terms of like how he monitored it and some of the smaller elements in it. Because think about it, right? We've had like traps, but if anything, he never like truly oversees everything and sets up things as the game is going. If anything, he just sets it up, people go in it, boom, that's it. And the fact that this one he was like actively setting up things as they're like in the room and it's just one by one by one. I think that was also a really really good aspect about this movie that I really at first I wasn't sure how I felt about it, but just the fact that like these characters knew they were getting picked off one by one, even if like they weren't being killed or whatever. But just the fact that like they were still like being put into games one by one still works really really well in the suspense.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just the way that they outed him out. It like that's the only reason I said it was a plot hole was because it doesn't help that they were like, "Oh, you're John Kramer, you're Jigsaw." Now, "Oh, you're Jigsaw." But who's this John Kramer guy? That's the only part that really confuses me is because this seems like something that would only really work post Saw 2, and in the fact that it takes place between 1 and 2 is what bothers me immensely.
I think a way they probably could have worked around it is just like I don't like maybe like she figured out that he was Jigsaw like the moment like they were placing the traps or something like that. I don't know. I feel like there was a better way they could have written it.
Or the
It's like
sketches.
I think they just didn't know how to name couldn't like figure out another way to name drop the Jigsaw name.
Yeah. Or the sketches for Timothy Young's trap. I mean, they kind of were
Oh
like
yeah, that's right.
they were trying to like imply that like they knew that he was gonna like they kind of phrased it weirdly. They're like, oh yeah, like we knew that you were gonna try to come back and get us, or like or at least like Cecilia knew. I guess is that how she? I thought that's how she phrased it, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. Like, I've only seen the movie once, so like this is opening night. So like let's see. So this is like so if we forget certain things, that's why because it's like the movie has like literally just came out. So like it's gonna be a little confusing to figure out.
But yeah, if so, then that means like they could have easily made it so like they just had a dude tailing him and then found the Timothy Young drawing and then he did that on purpose. If anything, I feel like that would have made more sense.
Yeah, because honestly, like it feels like the Timothy Young drawing was just there just for like for the hardcore fans who already know about that, and it's like that doesn't really come up as like a plot point later on. It's just like he just throws it away, but it's like we know that trap is gonna be made later on, so like what's the point of him throwing it away?
Yeah, precisely. But Sketch, what do you think of some of the game traps? Like the actual like game like plot traps, I guess. I don't know how to put it. The main game
The
traps.
actual the I think honestly my favorite's probably the first one with the driver guy. I can't remember his name. I don't
Oh yeah, the
remember
taxi.
anybody's name.
Yeah, I like that
Uh
one too.
Probably my least favorite would have been I can't remember the one girl's name. The one that Gabriella, I think her name was.
Yeah, that
Oh
was
yeah.
weak.
Well, yeah, with the a solar gun or
The
something, or whatever
Yeah,
it was
that
called.
thing.
If she would have dropped the hammer, which she probably would have in a realistic situation, then she would have been screwed and died.
Also, there was like a weird moment in the movie that I noticed, where it's like there was like a point where like her hand is almost going through the chain, and then the next shot she's like
Yeah.
holding onto it. Like I was like that was a weird continuity error.
It was. Yeah, not gonna lie, that was definitely the weakest trap of the movie because I think the blood one, like even if it would like a child wouldn't have been put in that, like I think that like made the suspense like immensely worse because you're just like, holy crap, what like this child isn't in the future movies. Like, is he actually gonna die? Because he's like
Yeah, I
trying
mean,
to
no,
like
John Kramer's gonna be alright, but it's like with the child, it's like it's actually suspenseful because it's like we don't know what's gonna happen with
exactly,
the
yeah.
child.
And
Thankfully, nothing bad happens to him.
I do
I mean,
appreciate that
it's
like
always
the
traumatized him.
I do appreciate how the inclusion of a child actor didn't feel like it was distasteful. I really appreciate how John was like, I do not want to do this. This is terrible. And then the main villains are like, too bad.
Too bad. You're the one who made it, so now the child has to suffer.
I feel
Yeah,
like
and I also do kind of like that little edit thing where it's like, yeah, they didn't go exactly how we planned it, but you know, it still somehow worked out.
the only thing that
Kinda
bothers
going-
me is that the main villains were like, why is there 2 chains in this already? It's almost like he planned this out from the beginning.
Exactly. Except, you know, he didn't want the child to be in there. He probably more than likely planned for them to put Amanda in there. But I guess because they saw the child, I guess they, I don't know.
Oh yeah, Sketch. You're well inclined with like medical stuff, right? Or not like super well inclined, but just like stuff, right? Some stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. What you think of the wire trap and the brain surgery trap?
I thought the wire trap was really cool, actually. I know that sounds horrible, right? Yeah, but I actually like that trap. The brain surgery one though, I thought it was really weird how he got the drill. It's like that thing would have not been able to go that fast. It's like he would not have made it either way.
Yeah. Okay. My only problem with those 2 traps is that. Oh, what were we saying, Connor? Sorry, I don't mean to keep interrupting you, dog.
I don't know. With the wire one, it's like she was like dangerously close to actually winning, but you know, she didn't actually get there on time. Like, there was a slight chance that she could have won that game, but you know, she was too slow.
My only problem with those 2 is that like it was based on a factor like, oh, you complete something and then wait for something to happen and then you beat it. I feel like that part was kind of cheap because it was just like, because like they literally, I feel like both of them deserved to win, and then like the fact that they died because like this weird thing that would have taken way too long, even if they were like 20 seconds faster. So I will say that the wire trap, the part where she like puts that thing in her leg, it was like, oh my god, yeah. Or wait, the what?
Are you talking about like the tourniquet that she puts on her leg before she cuts herself, or like the actual wire itself?
The thing she sticks
No,
into her.
the hose thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
the hose.
Yeah, where the blood goes in and goes in the little.
Oh my
pouch.
god, the
Marrow, yeah.
marrow. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like there was part like in my mind I was like, is that cum? I don't know why. I don't know why my mind went there in the theater. It shouldn't have, but it did.
I was just like, oh my god, because at first I was like, why is it only blood? And then marrow started to come out. I was like, dear god.
God damn, the effects team did their homework.
Yeah, it. Okay, Sketch. Is that what bone marrow looks like?
Like the effects in this movie were like legit,
Sort of.
really good.
I wholeheartedly agree. Also, what do you mean, sort of?
Just from what I've seen, not yes and no. I've also only seen like kind of dried up. So
Oh
yeah.
well, technically this is still wet, so I mean it could be accurate, maybe.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, fair enough. And then the brain surgery part. I feel like, dude, there's no way you just pull a piece of your brain out and then you're just still functionally okay in that regard. The
That's
fact that
exactly what I said. Literally in
say,
theaters, I said to my
either
brother,
way, you're
like this would have
fucking dead.
never been he would have never been able to do this.
I'm about to say he would never. Even if he like won the trap, like there was no way he would have survived after that.
I feel like that was probably the most
Going
unfair
to
trap
the
of the
next
movie
level.
and even the whole series. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like a piece of your brain, and then John Kramer being like, all right, I approve, and then he just lets him out. Like the fact that like he had to like go through these extra steps for the key was just low key kind of dumb. Because then Gabriella got like the easy way out, like in terms of traps, and then she still died anyway because I don't know. I guess they wanted a higher body count, but hey yo, the movie needed a higher body count.
Hey yo, hey yo. Wait a minute.
I will say I really love how these characters actually felt like it really did feel like the actual character writing was way more realistic because like I swear to God, moments like that, like in Saw 2, where you just like the woman puts her two arms into the blade thing and then she just can't get him out. Moments like that make me be like, okay, no one's gonna be that stupid in that type of situation. Like maybe like kind of dumb, but not that dumb.
Because like the first instinct is for Gabriella to like her arm first. And in the theater I was like, do your leg first. And like in the movie, in the last seconds after that, the movie is like, no, like the one villain later actually says, no, do your leg first. I was like, oh, the movie read my mind somehow.
All right, Bees and
Oh,
Butterflies asks, okay, how big of a piece of brain are we talking about? Uh,
I would say about the size of
Snickers bar.
a mini Twix bar.
yeah,
Yeah,
Snickers bar.
that too.
Also, I really hate how like they just I thought he was gonna cut a piece out. The fact that he just casually pulls like one piece out of his head makes no sense. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
One Piece.
One piece. And that yeah, Gabriella got it. Not only the most underwhelming trap, but like the fact that everyone else had some of the most brutal traps in the whole series, and then she's just placed in that.
Mm.
Because it was like literally the one chick with the wire. Oh yeah, take off an entire leg and then take bone marrow out of your body. And then Mateo was take a piece of your brain out, and then Gabrielle was just oh yeah, break two bones.
Yeah. It's like they knew she wasn't really that like harmless. She wasn't that harmful, like I guess.
All right, Sketch. Anything else you noticed, or anything else that you inquisitive things about the movie?
Uh, for God, what's his name? The brain guy,
Mateo.
Mateo, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
I did like the closing doors though. That's all
Oh
I'll
yeah, like
say.
yeah. I about to say yeah, because I mentioned to Evan earlier. That like it was very reminiscent of the Venus flytrap in Saw 2, where it's like it closes, but like you don't really see the final result. It's like again, it's more like you don't see the final result, but like your brain kind of like already fills in the gaps because like you see the heat of the mask of the insides of the mask, and then when it closes, you're just like, oh shit, like this place is fucked.
Real.
Like, that was
I
like
did think.
honestly like as lame as the trap was, that the kill like the actual like that scene itself was actually like very effective.
Mm-hmm.
All right, are we gonna talk about the post credit scene?
God damn it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. So Hoffman's in the movie for like 5 seconds.
man. I thought he would like show up a lot sooner.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Everyone did.
Kind
Like
of
literally the
disappointed
line
about
that he has in the trailer. That's pretty much his screen time in the movie.
Yep. And then they use the bathroom for no reason. That also kind of pissed me off. I'm so tired of
Yeah.
Saw's obsession with that bathroom.
It's like if you're gonna use the damn bathroom, use it for narrative reasons. Don't just use it for fan service. Yeah, I think you also mentioned that they also had like his hair slit back for whatever reason, even though like in the other movies his hair was never like that, even in flashbacks.
I don't even know why they would do that, unless like he didn't want to get a haircut for the movie, or
I get it.
I don't know.
Maybe they just somehow forgot what his hair looked like. I don't know.
Yeah, I will say like Kevin Gruert, definitely. I really love how like he's really respecting Saw 2 and 3 with this movie because like even though there are some aspects that don't really make sense as a midquel for this movie, there are like the back and forth between John and Amanda just are honestly super great in this movie. So
Oh yeah, the quick cut editing, I mean it's not like with like in the vast majority of the movie, but like when it is there, it's used like very. I was actually surprised at how sparingly it was used.
oh wait, what
Actually,
was?
but it's used in areas where it actually is effective.
Wait, what was effective?
The quick cut editing that's usually in
Oh yeah,
almost
yeah,
all
yeah.
movies, pretty much.
Yeah, honestly, now that I think about it, it really wasn't in the movie all too much.
Yeah.
The only scene that kind of
Like,
like used it like it normally did was the eyeball trap, and that's about it.
oh yeah, oh yeah. And like it was also, and there was also like the material trap where they used it like a little bit, and I think that's about it.
Oh, all I was saying is that it felt like the only trap that only use the to use it as much as the other ones did was the eyeball one. That one honestly was like the most classic feeling saw trap in the entire movie.
Oh yeah. I think when it comes to, like director wise, at least in terms of the Saw movies, I think Kevin Gruder really did. I think it honestly feels like he really improved. From like Saw 7, which was like the last one he did.
I
Because
don't
I think
know.
he did
Saw
a
7
decent
isn't
job,
fair, man.
and then Saw 7 was just kind of he had something, but it's a 3D. But the studio wanted a 3D movie, so he was kind of like it felt like he was just kind of combined to this like terrible 3D gimmick. He's like he was kind of like forced to kind of work around this sort of thing. Like
Hmm.
well, it was one of those situations where it's like, yeah, it's he's not able to do like as much crazy stuff as he probably would have loved to do. Whereas like here, it really felt like he was able to have like a lot more creative freedom to do whatever, and it actually ended up paying off really well.
Oh yeah, Sketch. What'd you think of the back and forth between Amanda and John?
Uh, I I guess it was pretty okay for me. The only thing is like it's I know this movie takes place before uh yeah, obviously the I can't remember which movie it was
The second one.
before he died. Before he died.
Ones
So it's
before
like
he died, yeah.
yeah, I don't even know what I was talking about. You can continue. Yeah.
Oh, just like the back and forth between John and
It's the
Amanda.
dynamic, yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know what I was talking about. I'm sorry, I'm tired.
No, you're good.
Understandable.
Oh no, definitely makes me want to revisit Saw 3 because of that. Just because I actually enjoyed that
Yeah.
aspect a lot more than I thought I would.
Yeah, because like in Saw 3, like they definitely do like have a lot more disagreements in that one. Whereas in here, it's like it's only a little bit of disagreements here and there. Whereas like in Saw 3, it's like full on like
Mhm.
disagreements, where like it actually like adds on like it actually like adds to the story rather than takes away. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. I love how the husband was just like, you twisted bricks after the brain surgery trap. I know that's random, but I was
Even
just
though like
thinking about that.
even though he was one of the few people who was like using other innocent people for money. But obviously this is worse than that. But still, it's just as bad because they're technically killing people,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
stealing the money.
I knew that he was gonna be like. I thought like, okay, here's the thing. I was going back and forth between either he was completely in on the scam or he was another person getting scammed. And near the beginning of the movie, I was kind of leaning towards the latter, but towards like the like closer to the end, I was like, I don't know. Like this guy doesn't feel like he's like completely normal. And then obviously you had the part where he's Cecilia's BF. So
Pretty much like as soon as they give the gun back to him, I'm just like the gun's not gonna work,
yeah.
and it doesn't.
I swear, I'm popping my fingers every so often, and then I'm noticing on Streamlabs it just like popping up. I'm sorry, that's random, but so like every so often, the more apparent pops will just appear on the stream. So real.
Right.
Oh, I'm trying to think of other crap that happened in this movie. Like literally just so much happened. I really okay, yeah, the build up was also really really good. I really appreciate how it didn't get straight into the trap plot.
Oh yeah, like yeah, I was about to say it starts like pretty much like the original film where it's just like it just kind of you're just kind of like jumping straight into like the main character. I do like how like at the beginning of the movie like the camera kind of like has this kind of like spiral esque twisty turn, if that makes any sense. I don't know how to describe it, but it's like you pretty much like see John Kramer's face and then the camera kind of just twists around.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then literally the last shot of the movie in the post credit scene, like they did the exact same thing.
I'm trying to think of like stuff we were talking about before the stream to ask Sketch because honestly, I'm kind of blanking on everything because like I'm just kind of tired.
Hmm. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Sketch. In relation to what you were asking earlier about, do you think it's better than Saw One? What are your honest to god opinion? What is your honest to god opinion about this movie compared to the other films?
God, I just like the fact that we like focus on John Kramer himself. I know like they have before, but it hasn't been like full on only his story. It's like this whole
Exactly.
movie's
Mm.
just like his story.
Like
But
he was just
like
kind of like the villain of most of the movies, whereas like here he's literally the main character.
yeah, exactly. So I really like that aspect of the whole movie.
And then we just have a movie like Saw 4 where he's just pure backstory filler.
And he's like just the flashback guy.
Yeah. Man, where's the backwards cap? He would have looked a lot younger if he would have wore that in this movie.
And where are the weird ass transitions? Honestly, I was honestly really shocked they didn't do that. Because I honestly thought they were gonna do like some of the weird transitions that the earlier Saw movies did, but no, like they literally didn't. I was like, oh, they didn't do the transitions. That's actually kind of shocking.
Wait a second, Sketch. You didn't even answer my question. Okay, better or worse than the first movie? Because I feel like you're kind of alluding to what you actually were trying to say earlier. Saw X.
I don't know. Like I like both of them, but I like both of them for different reasons.
Agreed. Because I'm just kind of thinking about it. I feel like they're kind of like almost on the same level for completely different reasons, honestly. Like it's pretty 50-50 with me. Those two movies are the ones I enjoyed the most. And then Saw 6 is obviously third place.
Mm.
I don't know, what do you think, Connor?
Which one was 6?
The one with the healthcare stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
Roderick.
carousel trap.
Roderick.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Oh, it's Roderick, yeah.
All right, Connor, shoot. What do you think?
Hmm. Yeah, obviously Saw 1 goes on top. I don't know. For me, it's still like kind of like a tie between Saw 6 and X. I think I might like X slightly better than 6.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I think 6 is a solid movie overall, but I think the fact that we get like literally the fact that the runtime is like half an hour longer than the movies usually are just gives you so much more time to breathe in this movie, and I feel like that's the only reason
Oh
it's
yeah,
above 6 for me personally.
yeah. Like I'm about to say, yeah, because the pacing is like pretty like there's like a slow build up around like the beginning of the
Yeah,
of like the first I'd say 10 to 20 minutes, and then they get to the trap plots, and even then like the trap plots do have their room to like breathe,
I
give
feel
us a
like
little bit more of like characters
I guess the
and how they
best
are.
word to describe it is brisk. Like it's a steady pace, and I
Yeah,
really appreciate that.
yeah, yeah. I think that's probably the best way to describe it.
I think that's the only reason why I like it better than 6 because 6 had amazing moments. Like
Mhm.
the shotgun carousel, what is it called? The reverse bear trap, the enhanced one, and then Hoffman surviving it and then having that like really cool cheek effect that they completely disregarded in Saw 7. But yeah, that movie had a lot of
That's
great
also
moments.
they made it cheaper.
Yeah. Dude, that effect was so bad in the 7th movie. Plus the pink blood. But I just feel like
Pink
Saw X
blood.
just has like
Pink sauce.
more of those type of moments throughout the movie. I guess if that makes sense.
Mhm.
I don't know, like you were right. This movie really was a love letter to the series and it shows, honestly.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I think we were talking about that like before the stream too, where it's like, yeah, it definitely feels. Or did I mention that earlier in the stream? I don't remember.
Wait, either it was right as the stream
About it
started
being
or
like a love
before.
letter to like. What now?
I was just saying it was either at the start of the stream or before the stream. But yeah, you definitely said that.
Well, yeah. Yeah, like this is honestly like a really good return to form, honestly. Like honestly, like if word of mouth is good, like I would honestly love to see like more of like what they have cooking.
Especially Kevin
Maybe.
Gruder. Like, I feel like he definitely
Oh yeah,
deserves a
yeah.
shot at
Kevin
making more
Gruder
of
literally
these.
directing the next series of movies. Like, yeah, I'll definitely check those out for sure. I mean, but at the same time, if it bombs, I'm gonna be like, you know what? At least they went on a high note this time around instead of disappointing
What was the
like the
budget for
last
this
two.
movie?
I don't know. Let me see.
Looking it up right now.
I don't know if that's public or not.
13 million. Wow, that's actually not that bad.
Oh damn. Yeah, and we don't know what the box office numbers are yet since it just came out. So
Right
I guess we'll have
underneath
to wait and see.
right underneath it there was a top stories thing or whatever for like Google, and it says box office Paw Patrol and Saw X to battle for #1 in crowded weekend.
Oh god.
I'm
Yeah,
taking
because like Lionsgate owes Bones, don't they?
uh
Or am I
do
wrong?
they?
I don't know. I have to look that up.
Here, I'm gonna send this in lounge because it's just too funny.
Oh, Paramount owns it. I'm sorry. Okay, I was wrong.
Here, I'm also gonna send the part of the original photo I used for the thumbnail of the poster in front of the theater I went to.
Yeah.
So box office battle, Paw Patrol versus Saw X.
It's like what's gonna win, the torture porn movie or the funny puppy movie, or the kids puppy movie? I wonder which one's gonna win.
Dude, imagine back in like 2004 or 5 when people were overhyping the first Saw movie in terms of how much violence there were, and then literally just made them travel like into the present, and then literally just made them watch this movie. Because this movie is probably the like I don't remember what source said it was the bloodiest in the whole series, but I definitely agree with that take, or not even take, but
Oh
just
yeah.
like what they were saying about it.
I think it might just be the bloodiest in the whole series, just for the fact that there's like that blood board thing that happens at the end of the movie. That might be why.
Damn, I mean by that logic it wins by default, but I just meant like as a whole.
Yeah. Oh
Blood
yeah.
that comes out of people, I guess.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I feel like this movie actually had a surprising amount of like just legitimate tension and just like I don't know, just like I feel like the traps I had way more tension because the characters were real people. I feel like the only thing that was a little
All right.
unbelievable was how they were like, okay, I'm just gonna take a part of my body off to survive, like just like immediately. For the first woman in the actual trap plot, it was more believable, but for Mateo, he just goes straight into cutting his brain open. So I don't know, just it still works, but it's just a little less believable than the first trap in that plot.
Mm.
Also, I completely forgot about the arm trap. I forgot. Wait, was it you or Sketch that mentioned it? I forgot. The one with the taxi driver.
Oh
I
yeah, that's
mentioned
right.
that.
The bomb guy. Yeah.
That was actually a surprisingly good trap.
I really like that one.
Me too. I also really liked how he survived because they could have just as easily killed him off, especially like using later Saw
Oh yeah.
movie logic where it's just everyone dies.
I mean, the only thing that didn't really look that great was the explosion. But other than that, like again, it only lasts a couple seconds, so I'm not that. And also, it's a small budget, so I'm not
Yeah.
like I'm not like mad because it only happens like for a couple seconds. So I did think like that one weird scene where it's like where they're in the taxi cab and it's like the van shows up and they literally point a gun at John Kramer's face only
Oh
to
my
break into the
god.
house and it's like that was like so fucking weird. I was
It
like, what is
was.
happening? I was like, why are terrorists somehow involved in the Saw universe? Or
Uh,
for them to be like, oh no, actually, that we're actually taking you to the place you were already going to. Like, that's a bit like excessive. Like the man literally could have had a heart attack over that shit, and he wouldn't have gotten his money.
something that doesn't help either is that or sorry, I'm so tired, I don't even know what I was about to talk about. Like, okay, anyway, so basically my like entire theater, I could just tell everyone was just like WTF is going on because like just nobody was like, like how like in you're in a theater, you could kind of just tell the general atmosphere of everyone around you. That was like one of the times where everyone was just like, bro, what is going on, bro?
I literally don't know what the atmosphere was because there was barely anyone at my screening. Like
Yeah.
there was like maybe
Yeah,
like
that's the same thing with me.
let's see, because there was like maybe like let's see, there was like I think a couple in the back, one guy next to me, and then another guy. I saw who was already out of the theater. So I'm just like, that's like four other people. Like I'm not like too surprised since it's like opening night, but it's like when I saw Halloween Ends last year, like last October, there were like a lot more people at that screening than this one, which was so weird.
Yeah.
I
There
want
were
to
like
say there
maybe
were
like
like
four
three
or five
people at mine.
families there that on that at that showing.
I mean, I don't blame
And
people for being very
so,
skeptical of this movie,
yeah.
especially considering the last two entries we've had in the series.
Oh yeah, especially Spiral, because that I
Especially
yeah.
Spiral.
Especially Spiral. Man, we could have gone Saw X in 2021. Think about that for a moment.
Right.
Or well,
No, no, they
te-
had to make the Chris Rock one first because that was apparently more important.
actually, I take that back. I'm glad that didn't happen because here's the thing, right? Darren Lynn Bousman was originally gonna go with this like Saw X script, or like or like in its original form, or either a sister script that was like it, or that script specifically.
I
And
would assume it's a sister script because like I don't think they kept everything from the original
yeah,
script because I don't know. Right, because I know they touched upon it in like the behind the scenes stuff, but like I don't. They were just like, oh yeah, it's like Jigsaw too, but it's like it takes place in another trap that was never that nobody knew about or something like that, and that's about it.
yeah.
And and with Tobin Bell's age, it's just like yeah, they pretty much use the cancer as the excuse for why he looks older.
Mhm.
It's like that's about all like we kind of knew about. I think.
Yeah,
So
that's the only thing that
it
was
might have been
weird.
like it might have been a sister script, and they probably like kind of changed it, in like the 2 years, in the middle of making this movie.
Well, it's crazy to think that Saw 9 could have been an objectively worse Saw X, hypothetically speaking.
Right?
Bruh, I've lost all hope in Darren Lynn Bousman. Like, okay, not only because Spiral is a bad movie, but because all like the commentaries, literally nobody knows what the f that movie is, and I think I've just lost complete hope,
I've
in
never
that
heard the
director.
commentaries on that one.
Oh, what's up?
I've never heard the commentaries of Spiral, so I wouldn't know.
Just watch the YMS video. They are constantly contradicting each other. Like they're like, I don't know. He even mentions it. It is so
Well,
weird.
I know in the behind the scenes stuff that YMS did too. It's like even like when they talked about how like they wanted to be a little bit more comedic, and it cuts to like one of the scenes they cut to is Chris like being like, "There's no one on the force I can fucking trust," and he's just confused. It's like, how is that? What is that supposed to be a funny scene? Because that's not a funny scene. Like that's supposed to be a dramatic scene. What?
I don't know, man. I feel like
Like, even like the other documentaries are contradicting themselves.
agreed. Yeah, that movie was just a mess by itself. Uh oh yeah, the style of this movie. Thank God it feels like a Saw movie again. We haven't had a proper feeling
Yeah,
Saw movie since like
the
arguably
actual like
Saw 6.
lighting and shit.
Saw 7
Not just in the
was weird.
cinematography, but especially the lighting as well. Like the uses of like oranges and greens, honestly, like really do help it like stand out. With it being, obviously, having it being set in like the early 2000s, it obviously has to feel that way.
Okay, something that okay, this is
But
completely
anyway,
random, but in relation to the time period, when John was first sending that email, I love how the other like icons on his desktop just said file. I
I
know
will
that's
say like the actual like desktop did very look pretty 2000s, but like the only one that honestly the only thing that confused me is the laptop he was using. Because there was part of me I was like, is that a modern day laptop or is that supposed to be a 2000? Is that supposed to be like a because I don't know if laptops existed in the early 2000s or if they just weren't as easily accessible back then. I don't know. I'm from the 2000s and I never really had a computer when I was like 3, so I wouldn't know.
I think I know what you're talking about. I mean, it kind of just depends on what laptop you're talking about. So, I don't know.
Because it looks like it was like God, because it wasn't like any of the other like other brand ones. So I don't know. It had like H&P or something. I don't remember what the
Hmm.
brand is called. I don't remember what the brand is called. No, but I do like how they were like very careful with like a lot of stuff that they do show. So like they don't show any like modern like technology or like any like flat screen
Dude.
TVs they did in Jigsaw.
Yeah, I swear, if Jigsaw would have just like had the technology that Saw X did, I think people wouldn't have given that movie so much shit, and understandably so.
Yeah, because then if it did that, then people would be like, wait a minute, why is he still using? Wait, if this is supposed to take place in the future, why is he still using the old technology? Like that would have been, I think it would have been kind of like a dead giveaway, but it's like at the same time, it's just like I don't know. It's just a mess of a movie anyway. So it's like I don't know why I'm trying
Oh
to
yeah.
go nuts for a movie that's already kind of a mess.
Oh yeah. Okay. Sketch. What did you think of the fact that Cecilia was the only one from the trap plot to like actually survive?
Damn, I don't even know.
I swear that kind of pissed me off. I'm not even
I
gonna lie.
Yeah,
Yeah, I felt like I don't think she should have died like in the gas room, but I feel like she definitely should have died.
I definitely should have like gotten like tortured. Like that's one of those characters that definitely deserved to be tortured at one point.
Yeah.
I feel like the simple fix would like when she was bashing her husband's face into the ground next to the knife. He literally could have should have just taken it from her and then just stabbed her in the throat or something, and then just been like, "Bro, you guys are crazy," and then they just leave. I
I
just feel.
mean, for the record, she
What were you saying? Sorry, I
uh
didn't mean to interrupt
sorry.
you. I'm sorry. Sketch, please say
I
it.
forgot what I was saying.
Forgot what I was saying too.
Please
God
speak.
damn it.
All I heard was like something about she, and then Evan interrupt you. Like what something to do with the gas or something. I don't know.
She. That's what you said, right?
I forgot.
What?
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
okay, well I guess finish your sentence, Evan. I guess.
I don't even know what I'm saying.
Evan,
I got like okay, literally, I
we're
took like
talking about the nerve gas, and then I don't know something about her. I don't know what it anymore.
10 milligrams of melatonin last night. I only
Okay, let
slept
me
for
just go
6
back to
hours.
stream and see what we were talking about.
It's weird. The melatonin made me feel more tired throughout the day than I did while sleeping. I don't know what's wrong with me. But yeah, I swear to God, that I'm not gonna lie. I feel like she was not properly tested. So that is all. That's all I will say on that. Probably the most evil person to be put in a saw trap, and she was the one to survive. Think about that.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
wait, now I remember.
I say she said. I say yeah, because you said for the record she, and then Evan interrupted you.
So
Anyways.
like I was saying, for the record, she was still trapped in the room at the end of the movie.
But the nerve gas dissipated.
Yeah.
I was just about to say like yeah, the nerve gas. They stopped producing gas. And again, how is she also supposed to get out of there since the door is like locked on the
Exactly.
inside?
Well, the movie never really like in terms of like tone, it never really implied that she was trapped there. So my headcanon is that she got out, and that's why I'm still salty about the fact that she uh is still alive.
As far as we know.
But I mean, like that's probably the last we're gonna hear from her, though.
Yeah, more than likely, unless they have an insane asylum and just have her as a cameo.
Real. Oh yeah, something that I kind of disliked about this movie about John Kramer is that it's almost like they portrayed him as like older than his character is, if that makes sense. It's like they forgot the fact that he's still like in his early 60s, like, and rather than like they treat him like an 80-year-old like old man who's just
Yeah,
like
because it's like in the movie, like when he's talking to Amanda, it's like like he kind of talks to her as if he's gonna that she's gonna take up the mantle once he's gone. It's like it's a really well done scene, and honestly, what I mean, if you've seen the other movies, like he's kind of right, but also kind of wrong. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's like I was like it was one of those scenes in the movie where I'm just watching it, I'm just like, oh, Mel's gonna die one of these days, and when I watch this again, this is gonna be really sad.
that's the only problem with this movie is that it almost like wants to act like it's like a spin-off from the series, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, like what if John Kramer did all this stuff rather than like an actual like in lore like chapter in that universe. I don't know how to describe it. Like it
It
almost
kind of like does both, where it's like it's both like a prequel that's supposed to be satisfying to fans, but also a spin-off for people who don't know that much about the Saw franchise.
yeah. Like it almost feels like oh my fuck. I forgot what I was gonna say. God damn it. Um it almost feels like a movie you watch after the original series rather than like in order, I guess, in
Yeah, it's like
terms
an
of the
extra like
timeline.
epilogue, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. But like other than that, like I really did enjoy this movie. It was really, really good.
Oh yeah.
We'll definitely have to do a watch party with Triforce. I don't think if anyone else who would actually want to join us, especially with how graphic
Yeah.
this movie is.
Yeah.
Also, whoa, can we please rewind to when you were saying, like when you were talking about the brain trap, sketch, and then you said, you said you were talking to your brother? So LED was there?
Yeah,
So he
Yeah.
actually
What do you
watched
mean
this movie.
he actually went and watched it. Yeah,
What do you think?
he said he liked it, but for the record, he's only seen 1 and 2,
Oh, okay. So this
That's
is the.
probably
and Spiral, and
yeah,
Spiral.
okay. Okay. I was about to say, if you only seen 1 and 2, then he'll be able to easily tell follow the story. But then when he sees Hoffman, he's like, "Who the fuck?" He was probably like, "Who the fuck is that guy?"
Yeah, he was. Also for the record, he was like, he said he had an issue with the movie not giving enough backstory to John Kramer. And I'm like, oh, trust me, it's like you're gonna get
Oh,
plenty. You just gotta go
I was
watch
about
the other movies.
I was about to say, if you want more backstory, literally watch the older movies. 'Cause, yeah, it does not
Exactly.
like. I was about to say, yeah, because it's
4,
way more
5, and
vague.
6.
Which again not a problem with the movie itself, because it's like like I said, this is just supposed to be like a movie for like mostly new people, but also the old fans too. So it's like that in mind, like it's not that big of a deal, but at the same time, it's like if you've only seen like only like a few movies, then yeah, you're gonna have to do some homework.
Oh yeah. I mean, it doesn't help that this movie is supposed to like be context, for other movies. Like, oh, like look at some of these events that kind of like, slowly pivot into things that happen later on in the series. Like they weren't the direct cause for it, but
Yeah,
they build onto it.
yeah, like, it's a nice little like nugget of information that
Mhm.
that when we watch the movies again, it's like okay, even though wasn't what was originally intended, it actually again it adds more context of like oh okay, like they're actually like doing the prequel thing of like oh like adding more context to that, it makes more sense with continuity.
Agreed. Yeah, I guess that's something I didn't really think about because when you've seen an entire franchise and you're just watching a spin-off, like I guess that's something you don't really think about in terms of like just like how like someone who's like seen like either none of the movies or like literally like a couple like will feel about it.
Mm-hmm. Like if you've only seen the first movie, like seeing Amanda like work with Jigsaw, like I can imagine like you being really confused by like, wait a minute, she was like a Jigsaw like victim in the first movie. Like why is she now suddenly working with him now?
Some people may not recognize Johnny Smith at first. I'm not even gonna lie. She looks a lot older than she
Yeah,
does
yeah.
in the older
Oh
ones.
yeah. Yeah, I remember like watching like a review like after the movie and talking about like how bad her wig was. I'm just like, yeah,
It
it looks
was.
terrible.
Yeah, for some reason, both of Jigsaw's apprentices just had really weird looking hair in this movie.
It's like they could do the ball, they could do like the ball cap like they did with Saw 3D and fucking Spiral, so they were just like, okay, let's just do hair and see how that works.
I mean, I think he had hair in Saw 2, right? I'm gonna look this up right now. I don't remember.
He wasn't in Saw 2.
Or oh, sorry. I thought you were talking about John Kramer. I'm an idiot. That's what you meant by bald cap, right?
No, not the bald cap, the ball cap. The hat that Jigsaw has in 3D.
Right.
Where he's doing the how you doing fellow kids look.
Actual information. Yeah, he does have hair in Saw 2.
Yeah.
Random question
I
that
thought you were talking about Hoffman. I thought we were talking about Hoffman. Honestly, I was like, what?
well, at least this is random, but look, guys, the Saw video game. He looks more like that now.
Let me see. Oh god, he does. Honestly, he looks older now than he did in the Saw video game. If I'm gonna be honest.
In the Saw video game, he looked like he was like 5 to 7 years older.
He honestly looks like he's still in his like late 60s, about to push 80. Oh yeah, there was like that weird one cancer patient that told John about the whole Mexico thing to begin with that
Oh
doesn't
yeah.
show up until the post-credit scene with Hoffman. Because in the movie I'm just like, okay, that is definitely gonna be very important since I was showing this character and making him such a big deal. And it's like, oh, he's literally just a setup for the post-credit scene. Okay.
There is one problem with this movie is that it is a little too self-contained. Like that's what I meant. Kind of like it feels more like a spin-off rather than like an actual chapter in the story. Is that like it's almost like they had made this movie to like just test the waters and see if people actually want there to be like a conclusive like return of the Saw series rather than like setting up sequels from the beginning.
Yeah, because I think I think this is really just honestly, I think when it comes to like this movie in particular, I think they really are just testing the waters to see if people still care about this franchise. It's just like, well, yeah, as long as they make a good movie, that's all that matters. And what do you know? They make a good movie. They made a good movie, and hopefully people see it.
I feel like if they do more sequels, I probably feel like those will be more popular than X, even if X is objectively better than them. I don't know if that makes sense because, like, this is the first movie that's a true return to form.
Because the only thing that worries me is that if this one is successful, they could easily fuck it up in the next one, and I really hope they don't do that. It's like I really hope they just kind of just stick with a good script and a good story, and just focus on what made Saw X work, and just focus on that, and don't just do let's just make the exact same mistakes we did with the previous sequels. Because that's my only worry is that if this is successful, and they're gonna just make the exact same mistakes they did, when they first made the Saw movies, and I really hope they do not go in that direction.
Well, something to also consider is that how the F do you do sequels like with this type of franchise? Because I mean, Saw 7 was a very definitive close for practically every main character in that saga, besides maybe Gordon.
Recently, in an interview, that they would make more in between sequels, where it's like, but think about it, I'm just like, how would that even work?
But like, there's only so many of those you can do.
For the in between, like, would they make an in between sequel for the in between sequel?
My only problem is that, like, with that at least, is that it's gonna feel like too many self-contained stories. You know what I'm saying? Like, when people like are invested in a franchise, they don't want to just see like they don't want like a mythology of random stories. They want like a conclusive like story. And I don't think there's anything wrong with doing like those every now and then. Like, this movie was so refreshing because it wasn't like, oh, this is like one part of a 7 like film saga. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like the 4 through 7 feel like episodic like soap opera adventures, but this one feels like an actual like conclusive self-contained movie, and I love that.
Exactly.
Because because here's the thing, like you're saying, they could do more mid-quels, but like there's only so long you can do that, especially with Tobin Bell. And then like
Yeah.
I feel like if I was
Yeah, I
them,
feel like you can do that with like you can do it like in between movie with like 2 and 3, but like, again, as you said earlier, it's like, yeah, like Tobin Bell ain't getting any younger, unfortunately. It's like I would love to see him keep doing like the role for like God knows how many years, but it's like I think even they acknowledge like, yeah, no one. I think it was like if it was Kevin Gruder, I think it was. He said like, yeah, if Tobin Bell passes away, then yeah, we literally can't use Jigsaw anymore. Like his story would be completely done at that point, and
mhm,
we would probably have to come up with like a I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. They just pretty much just said that, yeah, no one else will be able to play John Kramer other than Tobin Bell. And I
yeah,
honestly 100% agree. It's like Tobin Bell just made like this role like super like just really iconic. I think.
yeah, I agree. The 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 problem with doing sequels is that you have four options. Okay, you have the midquels, which of you can't do those forever. Either a soft or hard reboot, like with either Spiral or Jigsaw. Like, even though I feel like you can't really do Spiral because please don't continue off that base for the love of God. Oh, or altogether, literally just
Unless they somehow have a good script, which I feel like that's gonna be impossible. But you do you, I guess.
exactly. And then the fourth one, which would be retconning Saw Final Chapter altogether. Because here's the thing. You can't really make a true continuation of the like original 7 movies because
Yeah.
Carrie Elways probably will never return to the Saw series. Now, I'm not saying
Yeah.
that it's not like a small possibility he can, but overall, like he probably will never return, especially if these movies continue doing moderately well and never like to the heights that they were reaching back in the day. Um,
Yeah.
so I feel like an option that they could go, which is really MFing risky, is retconning final chapter and then making a like a soft reboot final chapter, which Hoffman would still be Hoffman's end, but it would be passing the torch on to someone else, like maybe a different copycat that isn't like a true apprentice or something. But that would be insanely risky, honestly.
Mm. Yeah, I can definitely see like people being split on that idea, where it's like, some people might love that idea, and then some people might like really, really hate that idea. So like, yeah, I do agree that is very risky for them to do if they decide to go that angle.
Because on the bad hand, or on the offhand, that things go poorly, like
Oh man.
you're literally screwed. Like if you ruin like what is supposed to be your next like starting point in the franchise, like you it's either it's like it's the franchise is dead forever, or like you just do that again in like 5 to 10 years. But the problem is that like or sorry, but on the good or like just like if the good outcome if they did something like that was one, Jigsaw and Spiral wouldn't be canon after that. And then two, they could also do a lot more other types of stories with that. So it'd basically be a better 7, retconning Jigsaw and Spiral, and like get a new start to the franchise with a new direction. So I feel like that would be, if done well, obviously. I feel like that genuinely could be the best direction for the franchise because you can't keep doing midquels, and I really don't want anything Jigsaw or Spiral related. At least Jigsaw 2017
Yeah,
sequels
because
or
like,
Spiral
'cause
related.
in the case of like the Loken character, there isn't really that much they could do with his character because they sort of already finished his arc in like in that one movie. And with Spiral, it's like, what do you do after that too? It's like, like who cares about the guy who wants to go after cops? Like who cares about like this random doctor character who's was technically the first apprentice? Like, and his character arc is already kind of complete in that movie. It's like, so it's like there isn't really that much they can really do with those characters. I don't think,
Yeah,
unless they can find some way or find like a talented writer to somehow make it work.
because if they retcon 7 and basically like made it like a movie over writing it, I guess, because then they wouldn't have to worry about Carrie Elways because then Dr. Gordon would be completely retcon, which most people don't even like the fact that he comes back anyway. Like here, like what they could also do is literally just have the fact that he like just literally straight up dies. Like maybe like in like a super like short flashback, like some dude could literally just be walking back walking uh like by a dead body that looks like Dr. Gordon's character, but it's just never explicitly said.
Like maybe like Hoffman like breaks out of the, or maybe as you said, it would literally be like a giant red cloud and kind of risky, but also like it would be Hoffman like actually breaking out of his chains somehow, and he kills Gordon. But
Oh,
like I don't know, that seems a bit like much. I feel like.
oh no, I mean like retconning the entirety of Saw 7 and basically making a new movie that would replace it, if that makes sense.
Hmm. Like Saw 7 would still be canon, but like they would have to like some like, but they would pretty much make those make the ending like not matter pretty much.
No, I mean like completely
Or
like retcon the entire movie and then just make a movie in its place, if that makes sense.
I don't know. I feel like that would be too convoluted. I feel like I don't know.
I mean, it
Maybe it's
probably
just
would
me, but
be.
I don't know. I don't know if I don't know if like anyone would be on board with that idea. Honestly,
I mean, I just don't feel like that Saw 7 is a good base to go off of, though.
like I understand the idea, and yeah, it is something that they could do, but it's like I don't think they should. Honestly, like, it doesn't seem like the right direction to go.
Fair enough. I don't know. Just Saw 7 is just not a good canvas to go afterwards, I guess.
Mhm.
All right, we have all talked a lot about this movie and just things surrounding it. Is there anything else that like we like notable things that we should like mention like at all? We're already at the hour and 10 mark, so I'm not gonna like keep talking about a movie if like we're kind of exhausted of things to talk about like in relation to that, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Like any other points that we want to talk about?
Well, other than the obvious stuff, like the music and stuff,
Oh yeah, the music
I
was
guess.
really good
Yeah, which
as
I
usual.
mean, yeah, I mean that was kind of expected. Um, I do find it weird how like the title card also popped up at like the very end of the movie too. It's like you got the title card at the beginning, and then you got the title card at the before the credits. It's like it's kind of odd, but all right, you do you. It's a
Agreed.
small thing, but I just felt like that was worth pointing out.
Wait, yeah, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, except it's not like red anymore. It's like freaking black.
All right, Sketch, do you have anything to weigh on in all this or no? Like just like things that we've been
Nah,
talking
I
about?
think I already pointed things out.
Real.
um, yeah, I think we covered pretty much everything in the movie.
Yeah, I think we did. Well, is there anything else you guys want to talk about before like we end stream? Maybe like not like right now, but pretty soon.
Mm. Um, I guess not related, but I did see before the movie started. I did see the FNAF movie trailer before it
Oh
started.
yeah.
It was
What?
like one of the last movie. Yeah, it was like the new trailer. It's like the official trailer too. Um, and if I say it's not like really important, but it was like yeah, it was one of those things where I'm just like, oh wow, they actually played the trailer before the movie. It was like literally the last ad before the movie started. I was like, okay, awesome.
All I got was Aquaman.
All I got is a bunch of weird ass movies. They're like
Uh,
weird horror movies. I got Exorcist Believer, that one movie with
Oh yeah,
like
that was the other one. Yeah, because I remember there was another one. There was like Exorcist Believer, and then the other one was like the freaking Martin Scorsese movie.
yeah,
That
that
was the third one I forgot for whatever reason.
I didn't even get those.
Exorcist Believer
And
looks
I got
insanely
30
whack.
minutes of ads.
Yeah, I don't
30
know.
minutes.
I will say the piano theme actually seems pretty good though. I know it wouldn't really be used much in the movie, but at least on the trailer, it definitely like it looked really cool,
Yeah.
or it was really cool. I meant to say,
I don't know.
but
I'm not like a big Exorcist fan, so it doesn't look that appealing to me. So
oh,
I don't
same.
know.
I was just appreciating that it was a pretty well made trailer, but yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Exorcist either.
Yeah, it's weird because it's like I think it's directed by the same guy who did like the recent Halloween trilogy, and people have like mixed opinions on those. So like I'm not expecting a great response to the Exorcist movie. So, I guess we'll have to wait and see.
Man, honestly, that's probably not completely his fault, though. I can guarantee that they just had a really strong script for the first one and didn't really know where to go from there.
It's weird because like I remember like someone talking about how like I guess they sort of planned on making two movies at first, but then they wanted to see how the first one did in order to like um see how it would go.
Yeah.
It's like they have like decent. It's like and that's kind of like my big like sort of thing with the Halloween trilogy is that like they have like decent ideas, but like the execution on some of those ideas is just not done that well in my opinion. Um, Halloween Ends pretty much being like the biggest example, like because the only like big controversial thing in Halloween Kills is really that the whole mob thing, and like that's like just one small little side plot that sort of it is a very weird detour. When it's just like it's called Halloween Kills. I want to see Michael Myers kill people. I don't care about this mob mentality shit. And then the Halloween Ends is like it's like the entire plot hinges on like this new character who sort of takes on the mantle of Michael Myers, and it's just like I don't know. I like the idea they're going for, but it's like it feels like this was supposed to be for a different character. I feel like I don't know.
I'm not
Like,
gonna
I don't
lie,
know
I
why I
really
can't
don't know
explain
much about the
it.
Halloween series.
All right. Well, so yeah, because I remember discussing it with my older brother last year on my birthday. I was like, yeah, it's very clear they knew how to end this trilogy, but it was the setup that they had very trouble with figuring out. Like I feel like it was like kind of like a mix bag. Like some things were done well and some things weren't. It's very confusing because I know there are some people who really love the new Halloween movies, but there were some people who really hate them, particularly like the last two. But that's a completely different discussion altogether.
Honestly, we should definitely do like a future non-canon shenanigan. This I need to make this a consistent thing every single time. I'm like, I want to make this
Yeah.
a consistent thing. I just wait like 6 months to do another episode. Small exaggeration, but you get the point. But we'll definitely have to do like a horror themed episode where we do, especially since Halloween's coming up, just talking about like horror franchises and whatever.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I mean, as far as 10th movies go, Saw X definitely takes the cake, in at least in most horror franchises. Goddamn.
Mhm.
I mean, Jason X, dear God. Besides the liquid nitrogen kill, everything else was garbage. All right, fellas. Well, I think that's honestly going to conclude it for the stream. Um, I'm not gonna lie, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie, and I'm glad we got to talk about all this together because I went by myself. So, in that regard, it was just
Yeah.
kind of eh. But the movie was honestly amazing. But anyway, um, you guys want to go ahead and say your goodbyes and all that stuff?
Bye,
That's true.
stream.
Goodbye, stream. Thank you for listening to us ramble.
I was literally just about to say that. Twinsies? Real?
Twinsies, I guess. I don't know.
Twinsies. Okay, I'm sorry. I feel bad. I literally just noticed on Streamlabs when I did that, like the mic levels were almost max. I'm sorry, fellas. But anyway, well, to the two viewers, oh, I guess one viewer, in chat. I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. It's been a pleasure. We got to definitely. I might honestly start making this either a bi-weekly or weekly thing where we just talk about random garbage. But anyway, hope you guys enjoyed, and I guess we'll see you guys next.